Hello everyone and welcome to part 21 of my Milwaukee Bucks MyGM on the Xbox One here on Klein92TV. In this episode we will be facing the Golden State Warriors. Despite having a decent roster, they have not been playing well and Klay Thompson will not be playing in this game. I will see you guys down at the court. We are in Golden State for this matchup against the Warriors. Both teams are rocking their throwback uniforms. In my opinion, the Warriors' throwback uniforms are so much worse than their current ones. Anyways, heading into this game, the Warriors are actually one of the worst teams in the Western Conference, and we're already making stupid mistakes at the beginning. What is Larry Sanders doing? Not even picking up the ball. But as I was saying, the Warriors, I think, are like the fourth worst team in the Western Conference at this point, and I think there are two reasons why they are the fourth worst team in the West. The first is the loss of Andrew Bogut. I think in the first free agency, Andrew Bogut signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers, so they are definitely struggling down low. And the second reason why I think they are doing so poorly is because of Klay Thompson. I have been checking the injury report constantly this season, just because you know in 2K your players tend to get injured a lot during the simulation, and every time I check the injury report, it seems like Klay Thompson is always there. So I would not be surprised if this Warriors team did not make the playoffs. So the first bit of news I want to cover in this video actually has to do with the video I recently uploaded. A couple days ago, I uploaded a video about my upcoming Madden 15 series. I asked you guys what team you wanted me to play as, and immediately after that video went up, a ton of you guys started putting your votes in the comments, and it was just great to see how much overall support I have just for that upcoming series. And because you guys gave that video so much support, I thought I would give you guys a little quick update on the standings going on for that series. So as of now, the team with the least amount of votes is the Oakland Raiders. Next up is the Buffalo Bills. Second is the Houston Texans, and tied for first are the New York Jets and the Tennessee Titans. However, the difference between the last place team and the first place team is not that big of a margin, so if you guys really want to see the Oakland Raiders or one of those teams that is closer to the bottom of the list, you need to go there right now and vote for your team, especially if you have not voted yet. Keep in mind though that everyone only has one vote, so if you already voted, all you can do really now is hope that your team wins. So that's all I have right now in terms of channel news. Now I want to get into some NBA2k14 news. A couple days ago, I think it may have been yesterday, a video was leaked online of some NBA2k15 gameplay. Unfortunately, the video was recorded with a camera and the camera was recording the TV, so the video quality isn't that good, but if you guys want to see it, you can probably easily find it online. Honestly, from that video, you cannot see a big difference between NBA2k14 and NBA2k15 graphics wise, but then again, it's not going to be like the huge jump we had from 2K13 to 2K14, just because when we went from 13 to 14, we were going from current gen to next gen consoles, whereas 2K15 is being played on the same system as 2K14. I did notice some minimal changes on that gameplay though. One of them was the scoreboard in the bottom right hand corner, and honestly, I like the one on 2K14 better. It may just be something where I need to get used to it, but to me, in my opinion, the scoreboard on 2K15 looks pretty crammed. From that gameplay, I also noticed a couple new camera angles that they show after a player scores or there's a timeout or something like that. So now that 2K15 is on its arrival, it will be coming in a couple months, it's time to look back at 2K14 and just look at what 2K15 can improve. And in this episode, I want to talk specifically about the game modes in 2K14. I could talk about gameplay, but I think there is so much to discuss involving gameplay, so I may need to talk about gameplay in 2K14 in a separate episode. So the three game modes I want to discuss in this episode are My Player, My Team, and My MyGM because those are the 3 most popular game modes. Starting off with My Player, the My Player in 2K14 was a huge step over the one in 2K13. Up until 2K14, the My Player mode was basically a mode where you would just control one guy and every once in a while you would get endorsements to kind of advance the story. Then in 2K14, the My Player mode got so much better. They added storylines, cutscenes, and the social media aspect where players would offer you challenges via like your Twitter, and for the first time ever, My Player mode in NBA 2K14 felt like you were actually playing as a real NBA player both on and off the court. Now, although all of these additions were great for the game mode, there is so much improvement needed in this game mode as well. Starting off with the cutscenes, I don't think there's that many of them, and when you do have cutscenes, there's no actual talking. Most of the time, it's just you talking to other players on your team. Unless you're talking to LeBron, Jackson Ellis, or your agent, the people you talk to always have text underneath them, and you never actually hear real voices. And not only the characters in these cutscenes are bad, but the cutscenes themselves aren't that good. Everyone gets the exact same cutscenes, so it doesn't really feel that much like a My Player because everyone has the exact same storyline, and every decision you make in the game does not distinguish your game from other people's. Just to give you an example, one decision you have to make in it is if whether or not you want to sign with this drink called Mega, and many people do decide to sign with it and it ends up not working out and the endorsement does not get you any profit, but there is really no consequence for that other than your agent saying that you lost money, when in game there's no real value in money in NBA 2K14. It's not like you lose VC for making that decision. And because there are no consequences for making bad decisions, you might as well make every decision possible involving endorsements and just take a whole bunch of risks, because let's say you take a risk and it doesn't work out, it's not like something bad is going to happen from that. Another thing they need to do with this game mode is make each decision matter. So when you make a bad decision, not only are you going to get a consequence, but it's also going to impact future events that are going to happen, because it doesn't matter which decision you make, everybody's going to have the exact same storyline. It doesn't feel like the story mode is really a branched mode. It feels like it's a straight line where this event happens, then this event, and it happens to every single person. Another thing that should be in this game mode is extra customization, because the customization in this year's My Player was extremely lacking, especially when you compare it to last year's couple games. This year we were so limited when we were creating our players. We were limited to, I think, around like 23 heads, so everyone had similar looking My Players. Also, the accessories in this game were like 1,000 VC each, which is absolutely crazy. I just have 2 more complaints involving the customization in this game mode. The first is that we are not able to choose what our players wear in home games versus away games. That means before every game, we need to manually go into the My Player mode and switch out the color headbands and arm sleeves that our guys are wearing, depending on whether or not it's a home game or away game. The second complaint I have involving customization are jerseys. We do not have the ability to change what jerseys our teams wear. That means we can only wear the same 2 jerseys season after season. So that's all I want to say about the My Player mode. Next up is the MyGM mode. I can honestly say that I have used the MyGM mode more than any other one this year, but although I have used it the most, I feel like this mode needs to be removed from the game. And that is because MyGM mode is essentially the same thing as the association mode in past year's games. But taking a quick break from that, look at Andre Iguodala passing it up court to the rookie. He's gonna slam it down at the other end. I thought that was a really nice dunk by the CPU. But as I was saying, I feel like the MyGM mode and the association mode are basically the same thing. The only real difference I found in between the two is that in MyGM you have all these unnecessary additions. One example is the ability to change prices on your merchandise, and although that is a cool feature, it's not really something that I care about doing, and I feel like it's just there to waste time. And as we're approaching the end of this video, I just have 2 more complaints involving MyGM. The first is that there are so many unrealistic trades. I really like the trade finder, but I feel like the CPU gives me so many unrealistic trades, and I hate how you can use VC to force the CPU into bad trades. And my main other complaint is that in order to unlock many basic features in the mode, you need to pay VC. So for example, one thing that you need to pay VC in order to unlock is actually the ability to adjust your rotations. And your rotations are such a basic feature, I should not have to pay VC for that. So we ended up walking out of Golden State with the win. I'm showing you guys the standings right here. I know I was not able to talk about the My Team mode in this episode. Next episode, I'll talk about my team and the gameplay in NBA 2K14 that can be improved in NBA 2K15. So I simulated the rest of the regular season. Here are your awards. The MVP was LeBron James. 6th Man of the Year was Gary Harris. Most improved improved was DeJuan Blair, and the Defensive Player of the Year was Anthony Davis. Now I'm showing you guys the All-NBA teams. The only guy that we had make one of these teams was Jabari Parker, who made the All-NBA second team. So the next episode in this series will be in the playoffs. We are the second seed, and we will be facing the 7-seeded Orlando Magic. I'm so excited for the playoffs to start. I feel like this could be the year where we make a title run. Anyways, I hope you guys had a fun time watching this video. Be sure to have a great day. God bless you guys. Bye.